Welcome back to another health and wealth check-in brought to you by the TAP Insurance Group on Own Your Power Radio. And again, we have the amazing Dr. Tiffany Pringle, who is the CEO and founder of TAP Insurance. Thank you for being here. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be back, especially to talk about the topic we have scheduled for today.
Yes, yes. We're talking about preparing for the final moments. Trying to make it nice and sweet, but we're talking about final expense. And I did not know much about final expense insurance until the last couple of years. I heard the term thrown around, and you've educated me much more. And I would like for you to first tell people what is final expense insurance.
So,
And
final
it's
expense
important.
is literally like that final act of care that you are providing to your loved ones. Uh, it is a way for you to have money in place in the event you are you've passed on, you're not leaving your family burdened with financial burdens. So if you really think about it, you're protecting your loved ones. It's a level of protection financially, and there's a level of dignity there because you're telling your family, I love you enough to put something aside so you'll be able to bury me or pay some expenses on my behalf, and you don't have to put up a GoFundMe page.
Right, that part. Yeah, that's the sad part. And I mean, I've seen so many people pass away unexpectedly sometimes, most of the times, and their family is just like, wait a minute, because a lot of people think we have time. We're like, oh, I'll do that when I turn 60. Yeah, I'll do that when I'm 70. And we wait till it's too late. So I think it's so important. I personally have seen the opposite of this because my mom, she had breast cancer, and she was also, ironically, they joked around about this at the funeral. Her title was controller. She literally ran like the accountants at her job. So they said, yeah, down to the hymn songs at the funeral, she controlled everything. So she picked out everything. She picked out her coffin. I mean, with having cancer, you already kind of know um that it's gonna be time soon. So she was planning everything ahead and had her will and everything. But she did not want to be like her friends because she saw a lot of her friends go through family fighting over money, fighting over things. And yeah, so I look at her like I gotta walk in her footsteps and follow because, I don't have any children, but, I don't want my cousins fighting over my stuff. No,
Yes,
if the custody of my child.
you'll have people fight over the smallest thing that belong to someone. So I get it.
Yeah. But what
Um,
exactly does, aside from the funeral, I'm assuming, what else does it cover? And let's
so you first I'll say make sure you know who your beneficiary is, because a lot of times when people put beneficiaries down, it's probably when they first got the policy and they never updated it later. That's very important because there are times when people fall out, or that person could have left before you and you
wow,
never updated your beneficiary.
I'm
So then
loving
it
that
goes
one.
to your estate. So final expense covers everything that can show up, right? Your funeral, your burial, or your cremation. It could be the memorial services. It could be the headstone, cemetery costs, medical bills. It could be a number of bills that are left over, credit cards, smaller personal debts. At the end of the day, you will need to share with your beneficiary how you would hope they spend the money. But in actuality, that money goes directly to the beneficiary. They could do whatever they want to do with that money.
So that's why it's important to have a will.
Yes.
That's
So
right.
it's important to have a will, and if you can, a trust, because in the trust, you can decide how you want to divvy out the funds. And you can literally take your policy and put it into the trust so that the trust owns the policy. The beneficiary could be the trust, and then you can specify how you want things to be paid on your behalf. But if you just have a beneficiary on your policy, whatever they decide to do is what's going to happen.
You need to have some things in place
Yes.
to eliminate that. 'Cause you never know. Some people start going on a spending spree.
And
You
I
have to
think
be buried, and they did a cremation to save some bucks, so you never know. Um,
right.
so now with that said, what would be like the average amount that people need? Like, how do they figure out how much money they need to have for a package, an insurance package?
So final expense starts as low as $5,000. And you even have some companies that can go lower than that. Just to say, hey, here's some extra cash if you pass. But uh, they can go up to 25,000. And then there's some other carriers out there that may even go up to 50,000. So it just depends. But
Okay.
typically that is the range for final expense. And again, that money is to help the family once that person has left.
Okay. So like if I'm a grandma, I can take some of that money to go to my grandkids or like college fund, like that kind of thing. It doesn't
You
have to all go
can.
for.
Right. So there are several beneficiaries that can be added to a policy.
Okay.
So if you wanted to share that amount of money and say, hey, I'm going to leave 5,000 to my granddaughter or grandson, and I'll leave another 10,000 to the mom or dad, however you want to split it
Yeah.
up, you have that option. And guess what? There are policies out there that allow you to leave the money to your church or
Okay.
to a nonprofit. So you have all types of options on how you want to utilize the money on your behalf once you're gone.
Gotcha. Okay. And then let me ask you this about is what if you are dealing with some health issues right now? Because I know sometimes it's hard to get approved for some of these things. Are there medical exams included? Like what exactly are the prerequisites to get
So
this?
there are plans that have they call simplified issue. They ask basic questions. They may check your MIB, which is your medical history, see what prescriptions you're taking. And if you can't get approved, they will then send you like what you can get approved for. If you applied for 25,000, they may say, "Hey, you can qualify for 10,000 or you can have 25,000, but your premium is going to go up because your medical record said this." Now, there are policies out there that are called guaranteed issue. Now, those are nice for individuals who have major medical concerns. They ask no medical questions, and those premiums will be higher uh, for the most part because they're saying, hey, we'll cover you and this is what the premium will look like. We know that you're a risk, you're high risk because we have no idea if you have cancer. We have no idea if you have HIV or anything of that sort. So those policies are available. And then you have people that just decide, hey, I want to do a guaranteed issue because I don't want to hear the word no, you know?
Just in case, just in case. Well,
Right.
that's another sign to, keep your health in check, y'all.
Yes. Yes.
And let's keep it clear. Don't lie on your applications, because right, the MIB is
Right.
like your what is that like? What do we compare that to? Like a social
Like
security
a credit report.
credit report? Yeah, like for credit report, but with the doctor's office. Yeah, because I
Right.
know some people that be lying. I knew somebody specifically. Look, I have fun, everything's great, yeah, and then have so many health issues and lying to the doctor. So, yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
sorry.
And
Um,
your reality is, sometimes people have jaded realities, right?
right.
So,
I'm fine. And yeah, even though I just had a heart attack 3 weeks ago, but I feel great.
right. They gave me this medicine, but I don't take it.
Right. I don't need it. Yeah, a lot of people are in denial, unfortunately.
Yes.
All right. So with that said, can you share maybe one or two horror stories of someone who did not get any kind of coverage and they did pass away and what happened?
Well, matter of fact, I can. So, number one, like you said, you see the GoFundMe pages up. That right there just tells the world like we weren't prepared and our loved one didn't do anything. And the other thing is this, sometimes people have policies, but nobody know they exist. They have to go searching and trying to figure out, did this person have a policy? And they don't find out till a year later because they had no idea where to look.
Right.
So I would say when you do put these things in place, please tell someone they exist, right? Hey, send an email and say, this is what I did, just in case you can't find it later.
Right.
And this is something that we all need to do, have that one person or two people that can vouch for some of your most important things that everyone needs at a time where it's absolutely necessary. Insurance is, you can look at it as an investment. And I say that because when you hear people say, "Oh, I'll just stick it in the bank," I'll put that $60 away in the bank. The question you want to ask them is, have you already started? What
Another
makes
little
you think?
later.
What
Yeah.
makes you think you're going to start tomorrow when all this time passed, you hadn't done anything, and now you're going to put it in the bank for 2%? Well, if you get a final expense plan, like guaranteed issue, for instance, the first 2 years, if something happened in that time frame, they will pay you your premiums plus 10%. The third year after that, day one for some, or just on the third year, you get the full face value for the amount you took out. Now, the question is, would you rather have your premiums plus 10% or just your premiums? Because the bank is not giving you 10% of your money.
At all.
And we talk about, final expense, but there's so many other types of insurance policies that you could have. But when you think about horror stories, it's debt that is being left to the loved ones. They're scrambling through things, trying to find things. And I remember this story where a woman said, "My mother protected everyone, but forgot to protect us when she died." And I have a true story where I knew someone who had a policy on everybody, grandchildren, nephews, nieces, husband, and then they left before everybody.
Oh my gosh.
And
She didn't have
policy
a
lasted.
policy? My goodness. And she's paying for everybody else's policy. Lord have mercy.
Yes, and had the policy for decades, and it lapsed, and the insurance company ended up giving, like, a percentage of premiums, like, their way of helping, but it wasn't much based on the fact that she had an actual policy and it lapsed.
Right.
So that's the other thing. Be mindful of your debit cards, your bank accounts. If they close, your debit cards, did you lose it? Update that information because once your policy lapse, you have to get another policy and it may be
Oh,
higher than the last policy, and you start that 2-year period again.
man, that's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, and people don't think about it because, who's thinking about death when they're
Right.
living, right?
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely something to give peace of mind on both sides.
Gotcha. Well, peace of mind is a great segue 'cause that's what you specialize in. So, I want people to learn more about what TAP Insurance Group does by going to the link in the show notes, and we will connect you. You fill out a couple of questions, nothing major, and then we will set up a time where you can chat with Dr. Pringle or somebody on her team. All right. So, thanks again for being here. Any last words?
Get protected. Take it serious. The time is now, not tomorrow. And even if you get something small, $10,000, it helps.
Right.
So that's what I would recommend. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. See you next time on the Health and Wealth Check-in on Your Power Radio.